$4 billion, 3 million victims, one woman vanished without a trace. This isn't a Netflix thriller, it's real life. OneCoin was marketed as the next Bitcoin. But behind the flash and fanfare there was no blockchain, no coin, and no future. Nothing. Just one of the largest financial frauds of the 21st century. In this episode of Crypto Scams Exposed, we dig into the rise and fall of OneCoin, the mysterious disappearance of its founder, and the wreckage left behind. So, who was Ruja Ignatova? The self-proclaimed CryptoQueen. Dr. Ruja Ignatova wasn't your typical scam artist. Born in Bulgaria and educated in Germany and the UK, she held a PhD in law and once worked at McKinsey & Company. She spoke multiple languages and dressed like royalty. Her charisma was undeniable. In 2014, Ruja launched OneCoin, branding it the future of money. Her credentials gave her credibility, her style gave her appeal, and her message gave people hope that even ordinary investors could strike it rich in the emerging crypto revolution. She wasn't selling a coin, she was selling a dream. And she wasn't alone. Ruja co-founded OneCoin with Sebastian Greenwood, a Swedish national who became the other face of the operation. Greenwood brought years of experience in multi-level marketing schemes and was instrumental in creating OneCoin's aggressive expansion model. While Ruja inspired trust and authority, Greenwood rallied promoters and orchestrated the global rollout. Together they built a billion-dollar illusion. In internal messages later revealed by US prosecutors, Greenwood allegedly referred to OneCoin as the exit strategy and joked about the scheme's sustainability. In one email exchange with Ruja, they discussed the best time to cash out, with Greenwood stating, "We are not selling a coin, we are selling a story." These private communications would later serve as damning evidence in court, revealing that the leaders were well aware OneCoin was fraudulent from the very beginning. But outwardly, the dream of crypto riches was OneCoin's sales pitch to the world. OneCoin claimed to be a revolutionary cryptocurrency, secure, scalable, and superior to Bitcoin. Promoters told investors it was being mined in massive server farms in Bulgaria and Hong Kong. Ruja claimed it had over 120 billion coins in circulation. The company offered education packages, priced from €100 to 118,000 euros, which included tokens to mine OneCoins. But buyers weren't really buying education, they were buying access. The more you spent, the more tokens you got. The more people you recruited, the more you earned. A classic pyramid scheme structure. And your OneCoins, they said, would only go up in value. Ruja claimed OneCoin would one day overtake Bitcoin itself. In her words, "In 2 years, nobody will speak about Bitcoin anymore." The hype machine was relentless, and it only brought more people into the scam. OneCoin held massive rallies in stadiums around the world, London, Dubai, Bangkok, and beyond. Ruja appeared on stage in ball gowns, diamonds sparkling, delivering messianic speeches about financial freedom. Millions joined. By 2016, OneCoin claimed over 3 million members in over 190 countries. It was particularly successful in parts of Africa, Southeast Asia, and Eastern Europe, where financial literacy was lower and economic desperation higher. The company opened flashy offices in Bulgaria, hired top law firms, and even paid former EU politicians to endorse its legitimacy. Some countries, like Uganda and Pakistan, even considered allowing it as legal tender. In just a few years, it raised an estimated $4.4 billion. But something didn't add up, in a big way. Blockchain analysts couldn't find any evidence that OneCoin had a public ledger. Independent auditors were denied access. Developers noticed that the coins were issued manually and that there was no real mining activity. It turns out, OneCoin's so-called blockchain was just a centralized SQL database. It could be edited at will. The few who spoke up were silenced, sued, or ignored. Many victims were too invested, financially and emotionally, to back out. The company built an echo chamber of hype, fueled by aggressive multi-level marketing and charismatic promoters. And while legitimate cryptocurrencies were traded on public exchanges, OneCoin was only available through its internal portal. Prices were controlled by the company. You couldn't sell freely. You could only buy more. Holders were locked in, and they couldn't get out. But then came the real twist. In October 2017, Ruja Ignatova was scheduled to appear at a major OneCoin event in Lisbon. She never showed. Instead, she boarded a Ryanair flight from Sofia to Athens and vanished. She hasn't been seen since. Authorities believe she was tipped off about an impending investigation. She left behind her young daughter, her company, and billions in stolen money. Some reports suggest she underwent plastic surgery and travels with armed guards. Others believe she's dead. The FBI believes she is very much alive. In 2022, she was added to their top 10 most wanted list. They're offering $100,000 for information leading to her arrest. In 2019, Ruja's brother, Konstantin Ignatov, was arrested in the US. He pleaded guilty to charges of money laundering and fraud. Another key figure in the scam, Sebastian Greenwood, known as the co-founder and public face of OneCoin in many markets, was also arrested. Greenwood played a central role in marketing OneCoin, organizing events, and aggressively expanding the MLM network. In 2018, he was apprehended in Thailand and extradited to the United States. In December 2022, Sebastian Greenwood pleaded guilty to wire fraud and money laundering. U.S. prosecutors described him as a mastermind who knowingly defrauded millions. In 2023, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his role in the scheme. Other top executives were indicted, including American lawyer Mark Scott, who helped launder $400 million. Scott was a former partner at the prominent law firm Laundered LLP. He created a series of fake investment funds known as Finero funds to process and disguise the origins of OneCoin proceeds. Prosecutors presented evidence that he earned over $50 million in fees from laundering activities and used the funds to buy luxury assets including a yacht, a Ferrari, and multiple beachfront property. In 2019, Scott was convicted of conspiracy to commit money laundering and bank fraud. He continues to maintain his innocence and is appealing the conviction. Many countries have issued fines and bans against OneCoin, but the money is largely gone. Victims in over 100 countries have lost their life savings. Some are no longer with us because of this. Others are still chasing justice. In 2023, Bulgaria announced it would reopen its investigation into OneCoin amid mounting international pressure. If you can believe this, despite everything, OneCoin's website stayed live until mid-2022. Some promoters continued to push the scam even after Ruja disappeared. So where does OneCoin stand today? As of 2025, Ruja Ignatova remains missing. Her name is still on the FBI's most wanted list, and international agencies continue to receive tips about possible sightings. Despite global efforts, her exact whereabouts are unknown, and her disappearance remains one of the most baffling unsolved cases in modern financial crime. Several of her accomplices have faced trial. Konstantin Ignatov, her brother, remains in protective custody in the US, awaiting final sentencing after testifying against former OneCoin associates. In his court testimony, Konstantin admitted that OneCoin had no real value and confirmed that his sister had instructed him to lie to investors. He also revealed that Ruja was paranoid about surveillance and had taken steps to prepare for a life on the run, including acquiring multiple passports and large quantities of cash and gold. His cooperation with authorities provided key evidence that helped unravel the inner workings of the scam. Mark Scott, the U.S. lawyer who helped launder over $400 million, was convicted in 2019, but continues to appeal. As for the victims, very few have seen any compensation. Efforts to recover stolen funds have been slow and complex, involving multiple jurisdictions and shell companies. Estimates suggest that less than 5% of the total stolen has been recovered. In many countries, victims are still organizing class actions or appealing for state-level intervention. The OneCoin brand is toxic. It is no longer operational, and most official platforms tied to the scam have been shut down. Yet, remnants of its network still persist in dark corners of the internet, rebranded and repackaged to fool new victims. OneCoin wasn't just a scam, it was a mirror. It showed how easily people can be seduced by wealth, status, and the illusion of opportunity. The saddest part of it all is that those who are least financially literate and most economically desperate were targeted by the scam, and ultimately lost everything. The blockchain was never real, but the pain of its victims is, and Ruja Ignatova, the woman who sold the world a fantasy, is still out there. Did you or anyone you know invest in OneCoin? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe for more insights into the history of cryptocurrency. Next up in our scam series, we will be looking at FTX, billions, Bahamas, bribery, and Bitcoin. Until next time, you've been watching The Crypto Historian, where the past is encrypted and the truth is worth mining.